Precious Remedies Against Satan's Devices, a study done by Thomas Brooks. And we are at chapter 2, titled Satan's Devices to Draw the Soul to Sin. And these are 12 devices, and we are now at device 9. Device 9 is by presenting to the soul the crosses, losses, reproaches, sorrows, and sufferings that do daily attend those that walk in the ways of holiness. Saith Satan, do not you see that there are none in the world that are so vexed, afflicted, and tossed as those that walk more circumspectly and holily than their neighbors? They are a byword at home and a reproach abroad. Their miseries come in upon them like Job's messengers, one upon the neck of another, and there is no end of their sorrows and troubles. Therefore saith Satan, you were better to walk in ways that are less troublesome and less afflicted, though they be more sinful. For who but a madman would spend his days in sorrow, vexation, and affliction, when it may be prevented by walking in the ways that I set before him? So the first remedy against this device of Satan is solemnly to consider that all the afflictions that do attend the people of God are such as shall turn to the profit and glorious advantage of the people of God. They shall discover that filthiness and vileness in sin that yet the soul hath never seen. And I highly recommend you to go to the audio video study series Doctrine of Repentance, because this study and that study goes hand in hand with each other. And then the second remedy, against this device of Satan is solemnly to consider that all the afflictions that do befall the saints do only reach their worser part. They reach not, they hurt not their noble part, their best part. All the arrows stick in the target, they reach not the conscience. And who shall harm you, if ye be followers of that which is good, saith the apostle? 1 Peter 3, verse 13. Well, that is, none shall harm you. They may thus afflict you, but they shall never harm you. It was the speech of an heathen, when as by a tyrant he was commanded to be put into a mortar and to be beaten to pieces with an iron pestle. He cries out to his persecutors, you do but beat the vessel, the case, the husk of Anaxarchus. You do not beat me. His body was to him, but as a case, a husk, he counted his soul himself, which they could not reach. You are wise and know how to apply it. Socrates said of his enemies, they will kill me, but they cannot hurt me. So afflictions may kill us, but they cannot hurt us. They may take away my life, but they cannot take away my God, my living God, my Christ, my crown. The third remedy against this device of Satan is seriously to consider that the afflictions that do attend the saints in the ways of holiness are but short and momentary. Sorrow may abide for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30, verse 5. This short-term storm will end in an everlasting calm. This short night will end in a glorious day that shall never have end. It is but a very short time between grace and glory, between our title to the crown and our wearing the crown, between our right to the heavenly inheritance and our possession of the heavenly inheritance. 14,000 years to the Lord is but as one day. What is our life but a shadow, a bubble, a flower, a post, a span, a dream? Yea, so small, a while doth the hand of the Lord rest upon us, that Luther cannot get diminutives enough to extenuate it, for he calls it a very little cross that we bear. The prophet in Isaiah 26, verse 20, saith, the indignation doth not pass, but overpass. The sharpness, shortness, and suddenness of it is set forth by the travail of a woman. John 16, verse 21. And that is a sweet scripture. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. For yet a little while he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Hebrews 10, verse 36 and 37. A little while. When Athanasius' friends came to bewail him because of his misery and banishment, he said, "Oh, it's but a little cloud, and will quickly be gone. It will be but as a day before God will give his afflicted ones beauty for ashes, the oil of gladness for the spirit of heaviness, before he will turn all your sighing into sighing, and your sighing into singing, all your lamentations into consolations, your sackcloth into silks, ashes into ointments, and your fasts into everlasting feasts." The fourth remedy against this device of Satan is seriously to consider that the afflictions that do befall the saints are such as proceed from God's dearest love. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Revelations 3:19. Saints, saith God, think not that I hate you, because I thus chide you. He that escapes reprehension may suspect his adoption. God had one Son without corruption, but no Son without correction. A gracious soul may look through the darkest cloud and see a God smiling on him. We must look through the anger of his correction to the sweetness of his countenance. Even as by the rainbow we see the beautiful image of the sun's light in the midst of a dark and waterish cloud. A soul at first conversion is but rough cast, but God by afflictions doth square and fit, and fashion it for that glory above, which doth speak them out to flow from precious love. Therefore the afflictions that do attend the people of God should be no bar, and should be no bar to holiness, nor no motive to draw the soul to ways of wickedness. And the fifth remedy against Satan's device is solemnly to consider that it is our duty and glory not to measure afflictions by the smart, but by the end. When Israel was dismissed out of Egypt, it was with gold and earrings. So the Jews were dismissed out of Babylon with gifts, jewels, and all necessary utensils. Ezra 1 verse 7 to 11. So look more at the latter end of a Christian than the beginning of his affliction. Consider the patience of Job and what an end the Lord made with him. Look not upon Lazarus lying at Dives' door, but lying in Abraham's bosom. Look not to the beginning of Joseph, who was so far from his dream that the sun and the moon should reverence him, that for 2 years he was cast where he could see neither sun, moon, nor stars. But behold him at last made ruler over Egypt. Look not upon David, as there was but a step between him and death, nor as he was envied by some and slighted and despised by others. But behold him seated in his royal throne and dying in his bed of honor, and his son Solomon and all his glistering nobles about him. Afflictions, they are but as a dark entry into your father's house. They are but as a dirty lane to a royal palace. Now tell me, souls, whether it be not very great madness to shun the ways of holiness and to walk in the ways of wickedness, because of those afflictions that do attend the ways of holiness. Remedy 6. The sixth remedy against this device of Satan is seriously to consider that the design of the living God in all the afflictions that do befall them is only to try them. It is not to wrong them, nor to ruin them, as ignorant souls are apt to think. He knoweth the way that I take, and when he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold, saith patient Job 23 verse 10. So in Deuteronomy verse 8, or chapter 8 and verse 2, and thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thy heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or not. God afflicted them thus, that he might make known to themselves and others what was in their hearts. When fire is put to green wood, there comes out abundance of watery stuff that before appeared not. When the pond is empty, the mud, filth, and toads come to light, and the snow covers many a dunghill. So doth prosperity many a rotten heart. So be careful with this prosperity gospel, and see whom is doing it, and look at their hearts. Their hearts are rotten. From all these pastors, preachers, evangelists who do prosperity gospel, their hearts are rotten. It is easy to wade in a warm bath, and every bird can sing in a sunshine day. Hard weather tries what health we have. Afflictions try what sap we have. What grace we have! Withered leaves soon fall off in windy weather. Rotten bows quickly break with heavy wage. You are wise and know how to apply it. Afflictions are like pinching frosts that will search us. Where we are most unsound, we shall soonest complain, and where most corruptions lie, we shall most shrink. We try metal by knocking. If it sound well, then we like it. So God tries his by knocking, and if under knocks yield God they yield a pleasant sound. So God will turn their night into day, and their bitter into sweet, and their cross into a crown. And they shall hear that voice, Arise, 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 and shine, for the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee, and the favors of the Lord are flowing in on thee. Isaiah 60 verse 1. And then we are at the last remedy against this device of Satan. This one is solemnly to consider that the afflictions, wrath, and misery that do attend the ways of wickedness are far greater and heavier than those are that do attend the ways of holiness. Oh, the galling, girding, lashing, and gnawing of holiness, and gnawing of conscience that do attend souls in a way of wickedness. The wicked, saith Isaiah, are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace to the wicked, saith my God. There are snares in all their mercies, and curses and crosses do attend to all their comforts, both at home and abroad. What is a fine suit of clothes with the plague in it? And what is a golden cup when there is poison at the bottom? And this refers to the heart of those whom are in wickedness. You can wear fine robes, but if you yourself are so corrupted, and corruption is a plague, what is the use of these beautiful robes to wear them? Or what is a silken stocking with a broken leg in it? The curse of God, the wrath of God, the hatred of God, and the fierce indignation of God do always attend sinners walking in the way of wickedness. Turn to Deuteronomy 28 and read from verse 15 to the end of the chapter, and turn to Leviticus 26 and read from verse 14 to the end of the chapter. And then you shall see how the curse of God hunts the wicked, as it were a fury in all his ways. In the city it attends him, in the country hovers over him. Coming in, it accompanies him. Going forth, it follows him, and in travel it is his comrade. It fills his store with strife and mingles the wrath of God with his sweetest morsels. It is a moth in his wardrobe, murrain among his cattle, mildew in the field, rot among sheep, and often makes the fruit of his loins his greatest vexation and confusion. There is no solid joy, nor lasting peace, nor pure comfort that attends sinners in their sinful ways. There is a sword of vengeance that doth every moment hang over their heads by a small thread, and what joy and content can attend such souls if the eye of conscience be but so far open as to see the sword? Ah, the horrors and terrors, the tremblings and shakings that attend their souls. And with this, I have come to the end of reading about the ninth device that Satan uses to draw the soul to sin. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.